On June 19, 2023, in Louisville, Kentucky, two undercover officers with the LMPD Apprehension Unit were in a vehicle investigating an unrelated case when an armed person, Mark Jaggers Jr., 21-year-old, wearing a mask approached and pointed a gun at Officer Hayden. In response, Hayden fired several shots, causing Jaggers to fall and drop his weapon. After ensuring the scene was safe, other officers provided first aid and took Jaggers to University of Louisville Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Jaggers' father said that his son did not intend to steal the car but just thought the car was left behind. The police officer was not injured in the incident. In the early morning hours of February 3, 2024, police at the Jurupa Valley Sheriff Station, Riverside, California, responded to a domestic dispute on Avalon Street. The suspect, Ernesto Rodriguez, 39, allegedly threatened his family with a knife, forcing his wife and children to hide in the bathroom. When police arrived, they safely evacuated the people inside the house, but Rodriguez barricaded himself in a back room. After hours of unsuccessful negotiations, Rodriguez walked out with a knife and refused to comply with police orders. As he advanced toward them, police opened fire, resulting in Rodriguez's death at the scene. No police were injured in this incident. On the morning of March 17, 2024, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a cashier at a Murphy gas station called 911 to report that Jeremy Smith, 33, had purchased cigarettes and provided his driver's license. South Carolina. When police arrived on the scene and asked Smith to stop, he began to flee, crossing several backyards and throwing away a handgun. During the pursuit, Smith climbed over a trampoline wall, and a police officer fired at least 4 shots at him. Smith continued running but was then shot and handcuffed. He was taken to the hospital for treatment and then detained. Smith faces charges related to the deaths of paramedic Phonesia Machado IV and New Mexico State Police Officer Justin Hare, along with other federal charges. On April 6, 2024, at 1:56 a.m., the Austin Police Department received an emergency call about a disturbance in an apartment at 3050 Tamarin Avenue. When 3 officers arrived at approximately 2:06 a.m., they located the apartment, and Officer Gabriel Walker Prado observed through the glass door 2 people causing a disturbance inside. As one of the men, 31-year-old Avelino Metal I walked toward the front door with a gun, Officer Walker Prado opened fire, hitting Metal. After Metal fell, police entered the apartment, arrested Metal and administered first aid. Metal was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and was released the next day. The other man was not injured. On August 23, 2024, Stonington police responded to a domestic violence incident on Elaine Street. William Frick, 32, allegedly assaulted his father and threatened to kill him. When officers Peter Siekiewicz and Anthony Brito arrived at the scene, they encountered Frick, who was holding 2 large knives. Frick suddenly rushed at Officer Siekiewicz and tried to slash him, but the officer avoided it. After a struggle, officers overpowered and disarmed Frick. Despite the tension, both the police officer and Frick's father suffered only minor injuries. Frick is currently in custody on multiple serious charges, and his next court appearance will be on September 13th.
Alright, 10 forward. Actually trying to keep up. He's really high rate of speed right now. Coming up to 39th
On August
Street.
16, 2024, in Vero Beach, Florida, A sheriff's deputy from the Indian River County Sheriff's Office spotted Austin Schwartz, 22, driving a sport motorcycle at 120 mph in a 45 mph zone.
That's a sport-style bike.
The chase then extended onto busy roads, involving Vero Beach Police and an ARCSO helicopter. The pursuit ended when Schwartz crashed into a truck at the intersection of 17th Street and Indian River Avenue. He was arrested and charged with reckless driving and fleeing, but was released on $40,000 bail. On February 18, 2024, in San Diego, California, a person discovered his Chevrolet Silverado stolen. On February 23rd, the victim saw the missing vehicle with a replacement Arizona license plate and called police while tracking the vehicle. When police arrived, the driver, Evan Baltzis, 44, refused to stop and a pursuit ensued. After being stopped, Baltzis ran away, but was captured by police with the help of a sniffer dog. Baltzis was injured and received medical treatment, then was charged with vehicle misappropriation and possession of criminal tools. At 10:20 p.m. In San Diego, California, the San Diego Police Department received a 911 call from the 400 block of 47th Street regarding a domestic violence incident. Stefan Neutel, 29, threatened his ex-girlfriend and their 11-month-old daughter, then fled with the child when police arrived. After running through the parking lot and apartment complex, Neutel was discovered by police officer Gladys in a bush. When Neutel pointed an object at police, Officer Gladys opened fire, hitting Neutel. The infant was found safe on a retaining wall. Neutel was seriously injured and was taken to the hospital. The gun Neutel left in the parking lot was recovered. On May 20th, 2024, at 10:28 a.m., San Diego Police Dispatch received a 911 call from a market on Morena Boulevard regarding a robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. The suspect, a 33-year-old man, pulled out a knife and threatened staff after being confronted about stealing goods. When San Diego police approached, the suspect fled and later took a man hostage on Friars Road, holding a knife to the victim's neck. The victim's dogs intervened and attacked the suspect. While the suspect tried to stab the victim, 3 police officers opened fire, shooting and killing the suspect at the scene. The victim was given first aid on the spot and no police were injured. On April 12, 2024, at approximately 9 p.m. in Stockton, California, police responded to an armed robbery at a business on Pacific Avenue. The suspect, Javion Holmes, 28, wearing a ski mask and holding a handgun, demanded money and then fled. As police searched the surrounding area, they received reports of a prowler attempting to hide under vehicles in the area of W. Swain Road. With the assistance of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAS and police helicopter, Holmes was discovered hiding in the backyard of a home on W. Longview Avenue. After refusing multiple police commands, Holmes simulated the act of pointing a gun at the officers. One officer used a non-lethal handgun, but then another officer was forced to open fire, hitting Holmes. On September 27, 2022, in Hesperia, California, an Amber Alert was issued over concerns that Savannah Graziano, 15, was kidnapped by her father, Anthony Graziano, 45. Anthony Graziano killed his wife and shot a father and child near a school in Fontana before fleeing with his daughter. The next morning, a chase began when police spotted Graziano speeding. While fleeing, Graziano opened fire on police. Graziano's car then lost control and stopped near an embankment. Savannah, wearing protective gear and a helmet, got out of the vehicle and lay on the ground. Video shows police shooting at her, despite announcing that she was a passenger and asking to stop shooting. Savannah was given first aid at the scene and taken to the hospital but died from her injuries. Anthony Graziano was pronounced dead at the scene. At the scene, a variety of weapons, including hundreds of bullets and grenades, were found. 4 sheriff's department vehicles were also hit by gunfire during the incident.
So, Tobin, I'm gonna have you take your hands out of your pocket, man. Put your hands on your back, you're under arrest for stop.
On February 10, 2024, in Tucson, Arizona, Tobin Pico, 29, was stopped by Marana police for a traffic violation in the 4100 block of West Ena Road. Suspecting Pico was driving under the influence, officers arrested him on suspicion of aggravated DUI. While handcuffed, Pico escaped and began running away, carrying a pistol. During the chase, Pico fired his gun while traveling along the Canyon del Oro River Road. Officers responded with gunfire, hitting Pico. Although Pico fell to the ground, he stood up and continued running until he was shot again and died at the scene. MPD and Northwest Fire attempted to revive him but were unsuccessful. No officers or civilians were injured in this incident. On February 13, 2024, in Seattle, 2 boys aged 12 and 13 committed 2 armed carjackings. Police received reports of 2 boys walking around with pistols. A woman and a man were carjacked in different neighborhoods by 2 young suspects. Police pursued the stolen Subaru Outback and arrested the 2 boys after they tried to flee. Both were charged with robbery and illegal possession of a weapon, with a 13-year-old boy additionally charged with attempting to escape from a police vehicle. On November 28, 2023, in Indian River County, Florida, a stolen BMW SUV was discovered using LPR cameras and a helicopter. When the 2 suspects got out of the car and tried to break into other cars, police quickly arrived and arrested them. Uriber Gonzalez Lopez, 18, and Jack Darlington, 20, along with a 17-year-old boy, were both charged with auto theft and related crimes. Gonzalez Lopez's bail was set at $185,000, Darlington's was set at $150,000, and the juvenile was charged with the same crime. On July 17, 2023, in Tampa, Florida, police responded to a report of a woman stabbed 13 times on N. 35th Street near E. 18th Avenue. She was taken to the hospital and the condition is critical but is now stable. To death the mother of his 3 children. When police discovered Bresnahan's car, and he pointed an Alaska .47 gun, they gave chase. Bresnahan drove carelessly, caused an accident, and fired a gun from the car. 18 police officers opened fire in response, and Bresnahan apparently died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Autopsy results are pending. The officers involved are currently on paid administrative leave. On Thursday evening, June 29, 2023, in Tampa, Florida, police responded to a report of an armed subject firing a gun from a gray Kia Soul. Officers and the Tampa Police Aviation Unit spotted the vehicle and attempted to stop it at the intersection of N. 40th Street and E. 32nd Street. Passenger LaQuincy D'Artez Ward, 42, got out of the vehicle and fired multiple shots at the officers, causing them to return fire, hitting Ward. Ward died at the scene. Driver Jeanette Lockard, 37, ran away but later surrendered to police. Lockard was arrested and charged with complicity in attempted murder, tampering with evidence, and escape. On May 19, 2024, at approximately 3:29 p.m., East Hartford police responded to an altercation at Governor's Auto Body Repair, where a man pointed a gun at a tow truck operator. When police arrived, a white Infiniti crashed into the patrol car and then backed up, causing two people standing nearby to fall to the ground. The Infiniti continued to crash into the patrol car, forcing the officers to open fire. The vehicle was later abandoned in Hartford and determined to be stolen. On October 19, 2022, Brevard County Police discovered Daniel Harris, 33, with outstanding warrants, driving a white Kia. As Harris fled, a pursuit began at 2:05 p.m. and lasted until approximately 2:09 p.m. FHP officers joined the pursuit and used techniques such as front braking to slow Harris. Sergeant Spencer Ross successfully performed a pit maneuver, disabling the vehicle. Harris exited the vehicle with his hands up and was arrested. He was taken to the Orange County Jail, facing charges including terroristic threats, fleeing, and driving with a suspended license. On May 20, 2022, Justin Venegas, 40, was wanted for armed carjacking. After being discovered and chased by the police, Venegas stole another car and drove recklessly at high speed, causing a collision and shooting at the police. During a confrontation in the parking lot, officers opened fire, but Venegas was not injured. He was eventually arrested after crashing head-on into a K9 vehicle. Venegas was treated at the hospital and then booked into the Clark County Detention Center on multiple charges related to robbery, battery, and criminal avoidance.
Steps out and shuts the chamber. You see him turn a dial, and then all of a sudden, this chamber is like... Towards the apartments now, make a right, straight ahead, stand right in front of you.
On July 7, 2023, Maurice Littlejohn, 44, was suspected of sexually assaulting and threatening police in the Bay Terraces neighborhood of San Diego. When police arrived, Littlejohn was holding a stick and refused to comply with police demands. After being shot twice by police and using a taser without success, Littlejohn continued to flee. He was eventually arrested after throwing an object on the ground that police identified as a cell phone. Littlejohn was charged with assault with a deadly weapon, and resisting arrest. He remains detained without bail.
And a wanted 211 suspect with...
On September 28, 2023, Anaheim police released body camera and helicopter video of an officer-involved shooting in Santa Ana. Brandon Lopez, 34, wanted in driving a stolen car, was shot and killed after 4-hour negotiations. Video showed Lopez holding a black object that police believed was a gun, but after the shooting, the object was determined to be a small bag with a water bottle inside. The incident is still under investigation.
We're about 105, 110, trying to catch up. They're still a little ways away. It's pretty good traffic.
On May 6, 2021, in Volusia County, Florida, police responded to a pursuit involving a stolen Cocoa Police Department vehicle. After setting up stop bars and performing a pit maneuver, the stolen vehicle came to a stop. Xavier Cummings, 33, the vehicle's occupant, fled and stole a Cocoa Police Department K9 vehicle. Despite being shot with a taser, Cummings continued to flee until his tire went flat and stopped in Daytona Beach. Cummings was arrested and admitted to taking the car without permission and showed signs of drug use and lack of sleep.
It's underneath the wires.
He was charged with multiple crimes related to breaking and entering, escape, and possession of a weapon.
Stay right there for me, both of you. Hands up in the air.
Denver, Colorado Denver District Attorney Beth McCann determined that the police shooting of William DuBose on May 1st, 2020, in the 3200 block of West Colfax Avenue was lawful. District Attorney McCann concluded that the shooting was lawful and no criminal charges were filed against Officer Ethan Antonsen. DuBose was pursued on foot by Denver police officers after they spotted a vehicle driving erratically on the highway, dispatched DPD's air unit to track the suspect vehicle and located the vehicle at 3200 block of West Colfax Avenue. According to Denver police, DuBose, 21, pulled out a gun while officers were pursuing him. Officer Antonsen fired 4 shots until DuBose fell to the ground. Police said officers found a fully loaded Taurus 9mm pistol next to DuBose shortly after he was shot.
Alright, if you're in immediate pursuit, back off, let everyone take it.
On Thursday afternoon, an armed suspect opened fire on Volusia County Sheriff's deputies, resulting in the suspect's death and the injury of a sergeant. The incident began when Philip Thomas Marsh, 30, carjacked a woman in Deltona around 2:21 p.m. Marsh fled with the stolen truck, and during the pursuit, he assaulted several sheriff's deputies and opened fire on them. Sheriff's deputies opened fire in retaliation, hitting Marsh several times. Marsh then ran into the woods, where sheriff's deputies eventually arrested him. Marsh was taken to hospital but was pronounced dead. Sergeant Thomas Dane, 54, suffered minor head injuries from abrasions from the bullet and was treated and released from hospital. Marsh had previously been reported missing and suicidal, with violent behavior toward law enforcement. Sergeant Dane and the other sheriff's deputies involved in the incident were all praised for their coordination and tactics in handling the situation. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating the shooting, and the deputies involved have been placed on paid leave, which is normal after an officer-involved shooting.
Eastbound still on ISB.
At approximately 10:57 a.m. Monday, police attempted to stop a truck after it ran a stop sign, and the license plate was determined to be stolen from Orange County. When the vehicle did not stop, the Volusia County Air 1 helicopter located the vehicle on South Garfield Road and then eastbound on International Speedway Road. The car overturned and crashed into the wall. After searching the vehicle, police discovered multiple prescription drugs and heroin. A small dog in the car escaped the accident without injury and was turned over to Daytona Beach Animal Control. The driver, Sarah Yerman, was injured in the crash and was taken to Halifax Health Medical Center in Daytona Beach. Once released, she will face charges related to fleeing and evading law enforcement, along with drug charges. The Texas Department of Public Safety has released new video of a high-speed chase that occurred in June in which a woman crashed her car and then tried to flee on foot with her young child. The video shows that this woman endangered both herself and the child by continuing to run away. Authorities had to step in to handle the situation. The woman is currently facing charges including child endangerment, possession of narcotics, and evading arrest. The incident has caused great concern about the safety of children in dangerous situations. On December 27, 2022, at 1 p.m., Thornton police were called to Wells Fargo Bank on Colorado BLVD. To investigate an armed robbery. 2 suspects, male and female, robbed the bank and fled in a stolen vehicle. After driving in the wrong direction and crashing into another car in Commerce City, they got out of the car and opened fire. Both were injured and arrested. The driver, Angel Matthew Gallegos, faces multiple felony charges, while the female suspect, April Destiny Martinez, is being treated and faces federal charges. On December 30th, 2022, in Las Vegas, an ordinary day suddenly turned dramatic when William Allen Conkle, 60 years old, decided to audition for the lead role in an action movie of his own. After being caught pointing a gun at a person near Nellis and Bonanza Streets, police immediately became involved. However, instead of cooperation, Mr. Conkle thought the car chase was much more dramatic. The thrilling chase ended when the police stopped his car, but he still refused to stop the show and even fired a welcome shot. The police did not hesitate to return fire, and Mr. Conkle decided to play big, driving towards them as if to create more drama. Finally, Mr. Conkle crashed straight into the wall, ending his self-directed action movie. It's just a shame that this ending doesn't have a sequel. On November 22, 2023, in Seattle, police pursued a stolen vehicle in connection with a shooting and theft. The chase ended when police stopped the vehicle in a pit maneuver. The 32-year-old male suspect was arrested, the female passenger was released, and no one was injured, including the 3 dogs in the car. Police also recovered multiple guns from the vehicle. On the morning of March 21, 2024, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Carl Kludinsky, 44, called to report that he had killed someone in a hotel room at a Holiday Inn Express and threatened to kill anyone who came near my room. As the police approached with weapons at the ready, Kludinsky opened the door, held his phone and pointed his gun at them, leading to a tense gun battle. After returning fire from inside the room, Kludinsky was found dead when the SWAT team entered the room. During the conflict, one police officer was hit by gunfire and later released from the hospital, while another police officer suffered minor injuries unrelated to the gunfire. On August 21, 2022, in Greensboro, North Carolina, Corporal M.L. Sletton stopped a white Nissan Altima driven by Nisanto Antonio Crenshaw. When Crenshaw failed to comply with orders to stop and flee, Corporal Sletton continued the pursuit. The Nissan then stopped, but as Corporal Sletton approached, the driver reversed, crashed into his patrol car and then accelerated towards Corporal Sletton. In self-defense, Corporal Sletton fired 3 shots at the vehicle. Crenshaw was shot and the car stopped. Corporal Sletton requested assistance and gave Crenshaw first aid, but he died at the scene. A passenger in the car was not injured and another subject ran away.